Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing Taroscopes for a sign of Pisces. That's Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising for the month of March 2025. Before we get to that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this channel full of like-minded souls, and to my tried and true who have been with me for years walking this path together. You mean the world to me. You know your support does. Thank you again for your loyalty. And for those of you who have joined as members of my channel, welcome to that. There will be more special membership videos coming out shortly. I'm still trying to figure out how to do it. So I'm learning, and I will be sharing very, very shortly. All right. So now we're going to look at the astrology of Pisces, and we're also going to look at we're going to do a card reading. But I do want to talk a little bit about the energy of the month of March, the specific energy of the month of March. March is the third month in the year. So we look at the 3 in the tarot, and we get the Empress. Now, the Empress sits on the path, that green path right there, sits right there, between Chokmah and Bina, divine masculine, divine feminine. She is the path, she sits in the Garden of Eden. 3 is a vibration of manifestation, right? The Trinity energy. And she's connected to the planet Venus. Now, Venus, this month, actually, as soon as the month begins, Venus stations retrograde in Aries. We will talk about that when we get to the astrology. So Venus is moving backwards all month in March. And so it's a reevaluation of our values, right? It can also be issues around abundance. We may find that we have less abundance than usual, but this is also the path of creative visualization. And so we have the power to visualize the world we want to see. Very powerful energy this month. And then we look at the universal year vibration of 9. That is the Hermit card. The Hermit shines the light of his knowledge from the mountaintop. So you might find yourself looking for knowledge or sharing your knowledge either from the mountaintop or not. You don't have to have a mountain. The idea of the mountain is that it's hard-won wisdom. And so we will all be utilizing our hard-won wisdom all year. When we take these 2 vibrations together and we add them together, we get the specific energy for for March 2025, and that is the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man sits on the tree of life right here between the red Sephiroth and the orange one, Gabora and Hod, Mars and Mercury, as it were. This is the this card is associated with Neptune. We have, of course, the North Node now in the Neptune ruled sign of Pisces. Most of the month, Neptune spends in Pisces until the last day of the month when it goes into Aries for the first time in around 150 years. So this energy of Neptune is very important this month as well. And you notice he has a halo around his head. This is direct connection to cosmic consciousness. So a very important part of the story. All right, so let's get into the astrology. All right, so as we see here for March 2025, for the sign of Pisces, just as a review, Pisces is a mutable water sign. Your mantra is, I believe. You have 2 rulers, the classical ruler Jupiter, and then the modern ruler Neptune. And of course, what's going on with both of these planets is significant this month. Neptune being the more significant because more is happening with Neptune. Okay, so we have, let's see, the sun starts the month in your sign Pisces, moving into Aries on the equinox, on the vernal equinox here in the northern hemisphere and the autumnal equinox in the um, southern hemisphere. Here's Venus. Venus stations retrograde right at the first day at 11 degrees of Aries and then goes back into Pisces. We have Mercury starting in Pisces, moving into Aries, but not before it conjoins Neptune. Now, Neptune is going to be sitting at the last degree of Pisces all month until it moves into Aries at the very end of the month. Venus is retrograde all month. And we have Mercury, which starts the starts the month in Pisces, your sign, moves into Aries, and then on the 15th, stations retrograde, and then by the end of the month, it moves back into Pisces again. So we have a Mercury in Pisces at the beginning of the month, and Mercury in Pisces at the end of the month. And at the end of the month, Mercury is retrograde at that time. All right, let's see. What else? Saturn's still in Pisces this month, all month. Saturn will be moving into Aries as well, but not this month and not next month either. I believe it moves into Aries in May. But don't hold me to that quite yet. We do have a new moon and a full moon, of course. Every month we have those. What makes this month especially important is that they are eclipses. Yes, we're back in eclipse season, guys. We start with a full moon lunar eclipse at 24 degrees of Virgo with the sun at 24 degrees of Pisces. That's pretty close to Saturn. I believe Saturn is probably, let's see here. I know Saturn conjoins the sun here. I think maybe it's not. Let's see. Sun conjoins Saturn at 23 degrees of Pisces. Okay, so Saturn is right on the sun. Saturn is right on the sun. So we have the moon in Virgo, we have the sun in Pisces, and with Saturn right there on the sun, um, pretty much. It's a reality check. It's a reality check, and of course, Pisces and Virgo are the axis of healing. And for you, Pisces, it's falling in your house of self and others. And so this is an opportunity to perhaps put some really healthy boundaries around yourself when it comes to dealing with other people. You're the type of person generally who likes to help others, and sometimes to the detriment of yourself. So I don't think Saturn is going to allow that. And of course, Saturn has been sitting in your sign now for 2 years, a little over 2 years. And so you don't get, when Saturn's in your sign, you don't get a lot of latitude to make mistakes, or your mistakes are pretty much pointed out quite too sweet, as they say, too sweet. All right. Let's see. We have the sun conjunct Saturn. Yes, then the full moon in Virgo. The eclipse, it's on right now, the north node is in Pisces, the south node is in Virgo. So this full moon is very close to the nodal axis. And the full moon is usually a release of something. It has that releasing energy, but we are in a north node cycle. The eclipses, or the sun is sitting on the north node of the moon, and so it's about moving into the unknown future. So it's a bit scary. I mean, it's like we don't know what the future holds, and we're being propelled into the future, like kicking and screaming, quite frankly. All right, Mercury stations retrograde in Aries, 10 degrees of Aries. The same day, the sun, or close shortly there, not the same day, shortly thereafter, the sun conjoins Neptune and then moves ingresses into Aries. And that, of course, is the equinox. The sun will make a conjunction to Venus. Remember, Venus is retrograde. Venus starts her retrograde at 11. She's moving backwards. The sun is in Pisces, moving forward, and then they sort of, kind of pass in the wind, so pass in the sea, and that happens at 3 degrees of Aries. That starts a new Venus star point in Aries. Venus will become the morning star. When she's the morning star, she's more likely to fight. as opposed to acquiesce. Usually that's an evening star thing. The evening star has more of the Libra energy, whereas the morning star has more of the Taurus energy, which is an energy about survival and having to do what you need to do to protect your resources, your family, things like that. So if there's anybody that you feel is a, um, a danger to your family, that person probably is not going to have a good not going to have a good month. All right. Then after the Sun conjoins Venus at 3 degrees of Aries, it continues on and then conjoins Mercury retrograde at 5 degrees of Aries. Venus re-enters Pisces. Oh, she does. She does re-enter Pisces. That's at the very end of the month, and then conjoins Neptune. So she goes back into Pisces, conjoins Neptune, and then on the 29th, I believe it is, we have the new moon solar eclipse at 9 degrees of Aries. Aries is your house of resources. This is a time to plant seeds um, of self-worth, self-esteem, but also if you're looking to start a business or anything like that, although we do have Mercury and Venus retrograde at this time, but this is a time to start planting the seeds for that. And then, as of course, a new sense of self, right? A new sense of self, second house. I value myself. That probably is one of the things you'll want to write on your candle. Neptune conjoins Mercury. Remember, it started doing that at the beginning of the month and ends doing that. And then Neptune, the very, very end, ingresses into Aries, where it hasn't been for, about a century and a half, right? So long, long time. Lots of things have changed in 150 years. Um, and we'll see how that manifests itself. You will notice that the majority of energy is around the cusp between Pisces and Aries. That's normal for this time of year because of the Sun and Mercury and Venus are generally in the vicinity of the Sun. So you'll see that, but that Neptune going over is very rare. And the nodes just went over at the beginning of January. So that happens every 19 years. So there's a lot of sort of things coming together. Um, but ultimately, I think this month of March is a transition between the imaginings, and then the emergence of a consciousness that's actually real for us to work with. So we have to be really careful about what we focus on. We don't want to give our energy to the wrong things. Okay. All right, that's what I see, guys. Let's jump off of this now. Oh goodness, trying to remember how to do that. All right, I have my I think I shouldn't say until I actually look. Oh yes. This is my Modern Spellcasters deck. I really do like this deck. It's a great deck. It's great pictures and easy to shuffle, which is always a good thing, especially as you get older and your hands get a tad arthritic. Shuffling cards is like a thing. It's like a process. All right. All right. What does Pisces have to know? Oh, oh, oh. They're starting to fly out of the deck already. Message for Pisces for March. Of course, many of you Pisces are March babies, right? Okay. I selected them in an odd way. I usually don't select them this way, but it's all right. All right. We start with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is somebody who's not all that high up in the ranks, as it were, but they're holding a very big sword. So a lot of times I'll see this as a whistleblower energy, but this could also be a young person who's wielding a sword that's way too big for them. So somebody young who is doing things that they're not quite strong enough or wise enough to do. So let's see what's crossing that. Yes, the Tower. So not good, not good, not good stuff. So somebody is creating havoc around you, and they're I feel like they're doing it like na 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 na, excuse me. Oh, sorry. And and so they're kind of doing it on spite or for spite or to make a point, but they're really creating a lot of chaos in that. Underneath it is the King of Swords. This is what is right and what is not. This is law. Now he has a big sword, but he has the wisdom to carry it as opposed to the page. Now this could be this and so what's coming to me is that there can be something that you did just thinking it was nothing and it ended up being a really big thing. And so now you're sort of sitting with the knowledge of what that is or how that can happen. It could have been a personal experience for you. Although I don't necessarily think that you've done anything to cause a tower moment. I just think that you've been there and perhaps you understand. Let's see what's in the past. We have the utter and complete end of something in the past. So something came to an end. Something has come to an end. In the sky, oh, new opportunities, a new door opens. Here, it's a whole different energy, right? He's in the garden. He's listening to the little bluebird. Is that the bluebird of happiness, perhaps? It's interesting because in this deck he's between these two staves, but his foot is attached to one and his arm is attached to another. And so this is a almost like a sense of waiting or a sense of just like sort of standing in the doorway of something, not actually coming in or moving back, but sort of standing within the doorway. So I feel like you're at the precipice of something, but you haven't moved forward on it yet. Um, we have the Seven of Swords in the immediate future. This is usually people stealing. And so there can be this energy of somebody taking something when you're not looking or something that's not theirs. Um, yeah, it also there's an energy here of like being able to look at somebody and say, no, that person's not a good no. So I would say trust your gut on this one. Pisces is usually very forgiving, and so sometimes they get a hit and then they go, oh well, people are people, and then it goes away. But trust, if you're getting a bad feeling about something, these cards indicate that you need to trust that how it seemed from the outside, that you need to protect yourself. You need to have healthier boundaries, perhaps, or be willing to stand up for what you believe. Your domestic situation, all right, a new opportunity, maybe learning something new, a new project at home. This could also be a new class that you're taking, new learning. It's like you're an apprentice, but you want to know how to do it, and it's a thing that you can touch. It's a thing that you can utilize. The pentacles generally don't invest their energy into anything unless it's going to bring some sort of return. But that's a seeking of knowledge generally. It's like the student card in the deck. Hopes and fears, the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a very romantic guy, but not the most reliable. And so you being a Pisces are probably hoping that you can rely on somebody here. Outcome, we have the Eight of Cups. This is what you have been doing is no longer fulfilling for you. There's a sense of almost done with something, but not quite, and not even sure you want to continue. So there's this abandoned success energy here. And then we have the Judgment card. You'll have to make a decision. You're definitely going to have to make a decision on that. All right. So underneath it all, we have the Hermit, which is one of the cards for the month. So this is uh, relying on your wisdom. And of course, with the King of Swords at the bottom of the reading, at the root of the reading, these are both sort of wisdom cards, as it were. All right. A change is coming. All right. So there's change. And then we have the Five of Cups, which is sorrow, but there is an opportunity to start again with this. There is an opportunity to start again. Don't focus on what you've lost, but what you still have, and move forward with it. So there is a real sense here, Pisces, that there's something coming to an end for you, something that um, recently came to an end, and it may have been because somebody wasn't using good judgment or didn't think what they were going to do was going to be such a problem, and ended up being a huge problem. Um, and this could be you. You could be the whistleblower here. You could say, hey, there's an abuse of power here, and this is why I think so. So I don't know, this could be for anybody. This could apply to you, that you might be asked to, testify to something that you've seen, that is not right. And that could also kind of be in alignment with the rest of the cards where you're not happy about doing it, but it's a time of judgment, and so it needs to be done. So whether you want to do it or not, it kind of needs to be done. All right. Well, those are the cards. I'm also picking an oracle card as I do every month. And this month I'm picking an oracle from the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. This is the same deck that Giblets chooses from every Sunday. So I'm a little inspired by Jibs. For those of you who don't know who Giblets is Ona from Ona's Tarot, Frenchie. She gets on Sunday mornings with Jibs. I think she calls it Time Out with Giblets. Oh, something fell to the ground. If it's just one thing, let me see. Oh, okay. There's actually two here. Oh, no, more than two. All right. I thought it was just one. It might come up again. We'll see. All right. Show me, show me, show me, show me, show me. We have Crow spirit. Co-create with spirit. Spirit. Co-create with spirit. Okay, let me find a little book. Oh, here we go. Crow. I love crows. I count crows. I get a lot of information from them. I always know when something's going to happen because of the crows. All right. Um, as you look around you, you can sense the magic that pulses through the world. Have you witnessed how every thought can become a thing, how every intention can call the universe into action as the sacred laws shape what you experience? The universe works in perfect order when you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with spirit. You will want um, you will want to crow with delight, feeling the excitement and wonder of being in harmony with something much larger than yourself. Really, that's where Pisces lives. I mean, Pisces is all about connection to source. That's why Pisces often sort of lets things go because it's like, well, it all comes out in the wash anyway. Something that Pisces knows at a bone level, as it were. Crow Spirit says you are right on target now to see your dream magically come into being in the visible world. The laws of abundance, compensation, frequency, and praise are operating in your favor now. Remember to be grateful and praise what is yours, even if it is still coalescing into form. So this is really about focusing on the world that you want to see, and of course, we're this month is part of the vibration of this month is the Empress card, which is about that. It's about manifestation and creative visualization. There is a protection message as well, which I'll read to you. It says, "Crow Spirit wants you to know that you think there is no magic in the world, or do you believe that there once was, but ran out, leaving nothing but ordinariness? Although conditions have become challenging, you have no reason to believe that everything you've set an intention for will elude you. Right now, the outer world is shifting. Can you feel it? Maybe you are fretting about experiencing the results of some of your poor choices or judgments from the past. Crow Spirit is here to remind you that you can always course correct and get back on track." So that kind of goes along with the reading as well. Um, Pisces, you're very, very often the first to forgive, but maybe the last to forgive yourself. So don't forget about self-forgiveness, um, and self-love and self-care. All right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful month. I'll see you again in April for the Taroscopes at that time. Take care of yourself. Namaste.